Hashtag Dacs don't matter. Anyway, hi, I'm your host, Zeospantera, host of Z Reviews. Don't forget to check out the sponsorship link in the description. There's always a sponsorship link from now on. I don't know where it goes, but I want to thank my sponsor for this week. In the sponsorship, click the link. There's a reason I put anime stickers on things. Because boring black boxes are very boring black boxes. And we have two boring black boxes here. In fact, the only thing not boring are these. The Abyss Diana Phies. My Abyss Diana Phies. I think they're staying here. Maybe they go back. I don't know. All I know is they have Dakoni pads on them and... So they're here because what I'm doing today... Well, tonight. What the hell time is it? It's 12:09 a.m. What I'm doing tonight is trying to figure out why the fuck SMSL keeps making Dacs when they've obviously peaked already. I've got more Dacs too over there. There's more Dacs. The Dacs and Dacs and Dicks and Dacs. Oh my god, my brain. So SMSL SU-9pro, courtesy of Hi-Fi Go. SMSL SU-10. I'm sure there's an SU-8 in the house and another SU-9. There was the SU-9, SU-9N, and now the SU-9pro. Why? At least, like, if you're going to go with, like, a $900 DAC, which is what this is, like, all right, step it up. You've got dual ESS chips. You've got dedicated discrete circuitry. Yo, bro, like, you're going at it. Why are there three SU-9s? Why is there an SU-9 Pro when you obviously don't want... Do they just try to make it for the price brackets? Anyway, if you're sticking around to watch this video, thank you. Check out the links. Check out Patreon. Check out Subscribestar. Check out my other channels. Inner Fetish. I have a second channel where I review software and I talk about anime sometimes. I might do that. And that's also where the review series went. And it used to be where the sound demos were. Now, did you know sound demos for headphones and speakers are now privately hosted? So I do not have to conform with YouTube standards. So if you want to listen to sound demos, hear new music, and sometimes not safe for work wallpapers, please check out my Patreon and Subscribestar for that. I'm gonna get all my plugs out at the beginning of this video because if anyone makes it to the end, you're a fucking god. I'm just gonna put anime stickers on them while we talk. So I have these two Dacs, and they've been sitting around for a bit. The SU-10s have been here a little bit shorter amount of time, and at $500 and $900 respectively. I had a problem because I know, I'm just going to cover those high-res audio stickers. They're dumb. I know I have the capability now using the Topping LA90 to directly compare the outputs of these two Dacs through a very reliable headphone for detail through a very reliable amplifier for amplification. And I've been sitting here for like 45 fucking minutes. And some of you might think that 45 minutes is not nearly enough time, Zeos. You need to sit down and you need to understand what you're saying, you amateur, hack, fraud. And, wow. So basically, the LA90 allows me to plug in 3 sets of XLRs. And those are balanced inputs, so I can go click, 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 and compare 3 different things. I only have 2 here, so I'm comparing the channel 2 and 3. And I was listening so hard that I know that this one was 1 decibel too high. 1 decibel too much. So I took this one out of full DAC mode and put it in preamp mode, took it down half a decibel, and then went to, 1 decibel. So then they were perfectly even as far as volume goes. And using like one of the most revealing headphones on the planet Earth through one of the amplifiers that I respect the most in the world, if there's a difference between these two, it's so negligible, it's not worth the money. The question is, if I did this for like 15 Dacs, specifically SMSL Dacs, specifically with Saber Dacs in them, would I ever hear a difference? I don't fucking know. Now, I like reviewing Dacs for several reasons. Number one, it's nice to have a couple lying around to throw in a pile to, use. And because they end up in the yard sale from the 1st to the 10th of every month. If you're a Patreon or a subscriber, you can bid on, I'm going to sell both of these. Unless somebody asks for one of them back, which usually A-Post and Hi-Fi Go. Hi-Fi Go for sure. A-Post has been like sort of cool with it. But it's like, they're both fully capable of revealing every single note and detail that comes out of every bit of music on my computer. Ooh, ghost data. If we click it, it'll play next. I'll do another video, by the way, on the second channel, because there's Z Reviews, In-Ear Fetish, Zeo's second channel, the Zeospantera channel, which hosts the unboxings. There's a Z Cooking Consortium. Is that all I have? I don't know how many more channels I have. I think it's all the channels I have. But yeah, no. I'll go over like how I set up my foobar faster than the last time. It was like a 45-minute video. Where was I? I was talking about Dacs and being exhausted. I'm exhausted from trying, like desperately trying to hear, because I thought maybe the soundstage coming off of this one, because I'm using optical into this one out of an SU-6, out of the Singzer SU-6, and I'm using II2S into this one out of the Singzer SU-6, using 44.1 music, which is going to be, everyone's going to be like, well, Zeos, of course, no matter how good your headphones are, or how good your amplifier are, and how good your DACs are, if you're only using 44.1, you're never going to hear the because I do have a 24-bit folder where I do play some 24-bit files, and I couldn't hear that either. Now, I haven't gone and put up a Rune endpoint and started playing pure 1-bit DSD, but at the same point, I feel like most people's music is going to be roughly CD quality, maybe slightly better, or you're streaming it from Tidal at a higher resolution. So I can't tell you the difference. And sitting here with one remote control, because they both use the exact same remote, and it got a little bit difficult when I was doing this. I had to be like doing this to try to like change settings without affecting one another. The only reason you would want the SU-10 over the SU-9pro is for II2S and AES inputs. If you need those things, here you go. If you want something that's just a larger form factor, hold way more waifu stickers on it, here you go. They both take full-size plugs. By the way, these are the Monoprice Hospital plugs. I'll link to them because they're just so fucking nice and thick and straight. I'm using World's Best XLRs. I'll link to those. We're going to get all the links today because, again, if anyone's going to actually buy one of these Dacs from this video, please tell me in the comments. Because it's gotten to the point now where I think we're there. Where Zeos? We're there. We're there. We don't need no education. Oh, Ghost Dad is playing. Switching Dacs. It's still dose data. It hasn't nothing, and then yeah, no. I'd love to meet the golden ears who could actually tell the difference between these two units. Or these two units and, Hollow May, for example. So the only menu differences between the two, because I have the one to the menus on them, is this has II2S flag data and stuff like that, and this doesn't because it doesn't have an II2S port. They both have sound color options. I think the benefit of an SMSL DAC over like a topping DAC as of this moment is the sound color. Here, let's look through the menu on this one. I'll use it with the control in the front. So let's go to the very, very top. That's my litter box being moved from the litter box to outside the litter box. Oh, God. Inputs. AES, EBU, coaxial, optical, Bluetooth, and II2S. Great. Outputs. You can have all line out, balanced, and unbalanced, because you can choose which ones of these outputs you want to use. And here's all your inputs, and I don't bother with the Bluetooth antennas anymore. That's just, my phone would be full of things. PCM filter. I haven't set the slow minimum on both, and just in case I can hear a difference. DSD filter, 47K cutoff is fine. Sound color. This is the reason you buy an SMSL DAC. Honest to God. Hand on heart. If you want a DAC, either one of these works because of sound color, where you get 10 options. Standard, which doesn't touch the sound. And then you don't get an EQ change. You just get Rich 1, 2, and 3, Tube 1, 2, and 3, and Crystal 1, 2, and 3. And these make an actual sound difference. If I set this one to tube 3 and this one to crystal 3, and I do that switch, blatantly hear a difference between two Dacs. Because whatever it's doing to color the sound digitally makes a difference. Hearing them in their raw, like it's a drag race between two cars that are fucking identical, and one happens to have an extra 6 liters of soda in a can in the trunk. It's like, is it going to make it faster? By science's concept, yes, the lighter car should be faster, but it's like they're both doing 200 miles an hour down the straight. So that sound color option is the legit reason I would buy an SMSL DAC over another one. Here's your pre-mode where you get to choose variable or fixed. Your function key on the remote. The remote is literally power, up, down, left, right, center. Input, function, mute, volume. So you could change what the function key does. It can be either your Bluetooth pair or change your outputs. Actually, this one does that different. All right. Where is function key? Function key, Bluetooth outputs or phase. You can change the phase on this one remotely. You can't do that on this one. Oh my God. Why? Why is that a difference? Why can't you change that? DPLL, which I forget what the fuck that stands for, but all I got to know is 5 is the default value. And if you change it too low, it may not work as well. Then you have your II2S modes, your dimmer, your brightness. Your dimmer means screen dimmer and timeout. Brightness is brightness, which actually, looking straight on, this screen is fine. But on an angle, this screen is brighter. This looks like it's almost like half brightness compared to that. Irrelevant. This is all irrelevant. Everything is irrelevant. This whole goddamn channel is irrelevant. This whole system's out of order. You have a very basic, bold, here's your volume in decibels. It says PCM in like a wacky, crazy 80s font for like a Charles in Charge. It's like weird. It's a little bit fast. Like if I do that, it kind of flies up and down, whatever it feels like doing. But you can hone it in on half decibel increments. It says 96K because whatever's playing. The Inception vinyl rip, Dream is Collapsing, is playing. Yeah, no, I feel like we should talk about something more interesting, like anime or who's your celebrity crush, or what's the worst thing you've ever thrown up? In my case, it was beef stew that I sauteed with lucifer oil. It was like a really spicy oil. I sauteed the meat and then forgot to drain it out. And then it floated to the top as I made the stew, and then I put it in the bowl, and I was eating it like, this is awfully hot, and I just consumed like a 1/4 cup of lucifer oil that had been boiling in stew. And oof, when it came back up, it was unpleasant. What about your stories? Tell me in the comments. What was the worst thing you've ever thrown up? Look how much better it looks with just a little bit of waifu on there. Just something, artwork. They've got these big panels, and audio is so boring. Like, this is the most interesting thing is the headphone, but there's so many other things that should be like part of it. They could just take this and just hire an artist, say, hey, we have this shape. We're just going to fucking scan print on top once it's done. A beautiful bridge in France or something. It doesn't have to be cat girl with her tits half hanging out. It doesn't have to be that. I prefer it that way, but it doesn't have to be that. Yeah, no. I don't know what else to talk about these Dacs. If you've done an SMSL DAC, you can watch literally any review I've made in the last 4 years concerning an SMSL DAC that has sound color options. And here it is. The remote controls work relatively well. Look, I can control, that one's actually locked, so this one gets controlled. Up, down, function, which is the function doing this. There you go. Balanced, unbalanced, all line out. Balanced, unbalanced, all line out. This is the shortest Z reviews in history. Well, no, that's the ODAC. I think I made a 35-second review of that unit. But I had to set this. It took longer to set this desk up, and then it took 2 or 3 times longer to sit here just contemplating if I could hear a difference between these two DACs. I didn't have to compare them. In the old days, I would have been like, hey, everybody, I'm going to review this one DAC, and this one DAC has all these options. Great, fine, see you in 3 days. And then I would have come back a week and a half, 2 weeks later. Hey, everybody, I'm going to do this SU-10. Oh, by the way, SU-10, gold feet. Just want to point that out. This, look, little rubber fucking feet. Only 3 of them. You got 4 gold and silicone feet on the SU-10. If that isn't a selling point, it honestly, and this is going to be strange, this is what, this visually, like even though it's hard to see them, makes all the difference in the world. It's those little touches. I don't mind if something's a little bit more expensive, it's got a little niceness to it. Not $5,000 nice, just like, yeah, extra $50. We got gold feet on there, really nice silicone rings. You know, the box is nicer. We've got there's a seam around the top of this one, where this one is an entire hewn block of aluminum. So there's reasons why this costs more, just from even a build perspective. But the UI is basically the same, and while it has much more stuff going on in the DAC, I can't hear it. I want to know if you can hear it. Is anybody else doing any independent testing? If I sell these in the yard sale, if I get someone to take both of them and just do an A/B test, which you have to find something that's as good as a topping, which is like, this is one of the best headphones amps I've ever got. One of the best headphones I've ever got. Plugged in the exact same cables I ever got. Just same source. It's like, I'm too equipped for this job now. I could just, it's not even like it's bullshit. Like, I understand this is definitely a better DAC. On paper, this is going to measure 4 or 5% better. The problem is, I'm only hearing, because I'm human, at like 60% of what this is capable of producing. And guess what? So are you. Well, so are you. So, do all DACs sound the same? No. R2R DACs can actually sound different. Are these R2R DACs? Is either one of these an R2R DAC? No. Are they perfectly fine DACs and I absolutely recommend them? Absolutely. I think if you want to save money and desk space, you get this. If you want gold feet, you get this. The end. Thank you for coming to Z Reviews. I'm seriously done. I'm seriously done. Links to these, affiliate links to these. So if you buy them, I'll get a percentage. So I'm really not trying to sell you on my. But you know, that Wallpaper's in the Horde. I'd rather have you download the Wallpaper in the Horde and ignore the Lucy and Rebecca poster. DACs are good enough nowadays. And SMSL and Topic need to calm the fuck down. Just calm down. If they brought out 2 DACs a year, an affordable $200 or $300 one, and then a $1,000 one, that's fine. Just, it'd be nice if I could hear the difference between the two of them. Anyway, Wallpaper, Horde, Patreon, Subscribe Star. If you like these honest rants that don't require me to like shill every single fucking thing, please support me on Patreon and Subscribe Star. Because once I'm paid enough there, it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm just always honest, and they're never gonna send me a DAC again. No one's gonna send me any DACs anymore. But Patreon Subscribe Star doesn't matter if they send me DACs anymore. Where you can see reviews early, participate in yard sales, possibly both, and then access to the sound demos, which no longer exist on YouTube. There are some still out there. I haven't deleted them yet, but all new future sound demos will be done here at the desk with whatever I want to play. It's gonna be great. The freedom of that has already made me, just my nipples are erect. And then for $10 a month, you get to ask me any questions in the private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat, where you also, once you're in that $10 chat, you're in a lifetime swap meet channel to buy, sell, and trade gear. And then that's it. And then there's Hi-Fi Guides. The Hi-Fi Guides forum, it's most of the forums. The Hi-Fi Guides is so outdated, I'm so sorry. It's like me recommending you go to r/Zeos. You ever been to Reddit/r/Zeos? I apologize for not updating that for like the last 4 or 5 years. A while. It's been a while. Anyway, I'm done. You're done. We're done. I have 2, I shit you not, 2 identical D400 SMSL DACs. One's an AKM and one's a Sabre. And I'm going to have to do the same thing. I might even set it up tonight just for fucking shits and or giggles. But yeah, no, this is my DAC. This is the DAC off. Stop jacking off, man. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the wallpaper. For some reason, if I go to my wallpaper list, here's my wallpaper list. Some of these down here at the bottom, which this was one of the ones at the bottom, they were put in this folder in 2019. May of 2019. These have not been picked or chosen since May of 2019. Why? These are perfectly fine wallpapers. Why wouldn't I use them? I don't know. I just keep using the newer ones. It's weird. Anyway, I'm Zeospantera. You're very drowsy, perfectly sober host. Signing off from this DAC-tastrophe. because that's what it is. Bye.